Alright, I'm starting my diet. And this time, I got no stashes of Mountain Dew all over the house. Well, just one.
Kick the red, double move on the red.
Everybody doing? King Dig back here. And no, really, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I mean, are you feeling okay? Because I'm still a little bit down from this loss. But how you doing? Huh? How you doing? Huh? How you? I'm telling you, it hurts. It hurts losing in the playoffs all the time. It always does, you know? But I got to admit to you, as down as I feel, which I do, I feel down and it sucks to lose and the way we lost, at least we go into this offseason. At least we come out of this loss. I'm not going, are we ever going to win a championship? Are we ever going to win a title? When is our turn? You know, so many times we've lost that I've said that. At least this year, I know we won one the year before. So I feel a little bit better about it. Just a little bit. Not much, but a little bit, okay? And when I look at, let's say this is Super Bowl champions, right? The Eagles are right here. They're right here. And if they do the right things this offseason, they could go back again. And I think this is a huge offseason for the Eagles. This is big time. You can go one of two ways this offseason. So I want to give you a little bit about what my expectations for this offseason are for the Philadelphia Eagles and what I kind of think they need to do. Okay, and this is really basic right now because we don't know a lot of the moving parts, so we have to wait and see, and things can change. But when I look at this team, I think that you're going to see a lot of guys go. I think you're going to see a lot of the older guys go. You're going to see Jason Peters, Brandon Graham, Golden Tate. Jason Kelsey is contemplating retirement, so he may go. I think, I know that there's going to be a Nick Foles, Carson Wentz debate, and I will be putting a video on that later in this week. But I don't think there's really much of a debate anymore because from everything being reported, it's going to be Carson Wentz and Nick Foles is going to probably go. So let's assume that's going to be happening. He goes, and you're going to have him and all these other guys go who are older and meant a lot, which means that the Eagles are going to probably get younger, but they're going to have a really good draft. Joe Douglas, Howie Roseman have to be on their A game this offseason. They really, really do, because they're going to probably cut a lot of guys, and they're going to wind up getting money under the cap, and they're going to have money under the cap, and it'll be interesting because if you remember, there were a lot of rumors that Le'Veon Bell, would be something the Eagles would pursue in this offseason. Now, you may not even want Le'Veon Bell, and there's reasons for and for not. I'm not here to discuss that. What I'm here to say is that reports were that he's a possible guy that they want to go after. And if they move and get rid of enough of these older guys, which I think they will, they'll have some money to do something like that if they want to. But we got a lot of draft picks, and I think it's very important for the Eagles going into the draft. They got to hit on some picks, man. They got to hit on some picks. Now, I think the first priority is going to have to be rebuilding that offensive line. You got Brandon Brooks, who went out. Jason Peters, who's probably not going to be back. And Brandon Brooks has a torn Achilles, which means he may not be back till late next year. So you're going to have to replace his spot. And then if Kelsey goes, you're going to have to replace that. So maybe in the first round, you look offensive lineman, something like that. Second round, go running back because you need a franchise running back. The Eagles had no running game. They're up 14-0. They had no running game. If you had a running game like you did the year before with Ajayi and Blunt, you could start wearing that Saints defense down. You could start running the ball, taking off clock, and they can't do it. They gotta get a running back. Now, are they gonna go free agency? Or are they gonna go through the draft? Most likely, I'd probably go through the draft. Look, if they want to go get Le'Veon Bell, fine, but I'll believe it when I see it. Get a running back maybe in the second round, something like that. But they need running backs. They need running backs that can run the ball. So they gotta be more than one dimensional, like a one-dimensional passing game. That's all they were yesterday. They could not run the ball, especially in the second half. So you need a running back. The other thing you need, okay, is a deep threat. You need a speed wide receiver. You need somebody who can stretch the field, a Deshaun Jackson type guy. Okay, and me, I actually prefer to get that in the draft, maybe the second round. You have 2 second-round picks this year. The Eagles have a lot of picks. So that's why the draft is going to be so important. They have to hit on some of these picks. But maybe a speed wide receiver, a young guy, somebody that Carson can grow with over the next 8 to 10 years. Somebody that's going to be there with him for a long time. Somebody that can just go, flat out fly, and keep the defense back. That's what we need. They really need that. They really lack it. We tried with Torrey Smith and Wallace, and Torrey Smith did an admirable job, but I think we need somebody young that will be there for years and years to come. So those are kind of where I would go in the draft. Now, I will start doing some draft stuff after the Senior Bowl, and then after the scouting combine or during the scouting combine. That's kind of when I start getting into my draft stuff a lot. So you can expect to see that. But I think that the key to this whole offseason is Joe Douglas, Howie Roseman. They gotta figure out the right guys, young guys to bring in who can replace some of these older guys and get some cap space. You need cap space. We have none, and we're going to have to rebuild that offensive line. There were reports where Brandon Graham said he may take a hometown discount to come back, that kind of thing. I don't know. I think you got to keep Michael Bennett. You're going to have Fletcher Cox. Jernigan makes a lot of money. Then you get Derek Barnett back. Chris Long's probably going to be gone. So I don't know. I'd be surprised if Brandon Graham came back. I'd be surprised if Peters came back. And I don't think Foles will be back. I don't think Golden Tate will be back. And you're going to have to replace these guys with younger guys. And I think this draft, we got a lot of picks. It's so important. It's so important. And free agency. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Eagles are going to do. But I think they're going to cut the fat, get rid of some of these older guys. They're going to have cap money because they get rid of a lot of these guys. There's a lot of money under the cap once they get rid of some of these guys. Like Foles is $20 million. I think Peters is like $8 to $10 million. Chris Long, I think, is like $5 million. So when they do it, they'll have some money, and they just got to make the right move. So really, really, really interesting all season, because if the Eagles make the right moves, they can go, if the Super Bowl line's here, they could easily be right back in it with a couple smart moves, a healthy 100% Carson Wentz. If he's the quarterback, we'll get into that later. And we'll see what happens. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm very excited about this offseason because I think they're going to be way more active than they were last year. So let's see what happens. It'll be interesting. And for those who want to know, I will be streaming Sixers starting next week. So look for that next week. Sixers, we're on deck. We're going to see what they can do. So with that said, I hope everybody has a great day. Take care. Talk to you later. Don't be a dingbat.